Alright. Let's dive right into these patch notes, shall we? Let me find Thorax here on Discord. Okay. PTS patch notes. Update 47. According to Thorax here, we have a bit of news for role-playing necromancers out here, so let's take a deep dive into this, shall we? Wait for him to get in here. Welcome to the Elder Scrolls Online. Our latest content release, the Fear of Shadows Dungeon Pack and Update 47. This continuation of the 2025 Content Pass. The new Feast of Shadows Dungeon Pack contains 2 brand new dungeons to challenge your skills. The first dungeon, Naj Kaldesh PTS. You are against a group of Argonian necromancers. It's pretty sweet. Seeking to corrupt and control ancient Zamer's keystone. It's up to you for your allies to stop them so they can complete nefarious machinations. I gotta zoom in on my screen. I can't read. Read loud? Yeah, let's do that.
That's why he chooses Granger for professional grade products and next day delivery, so he can rise to every
Why won't it zoom in?
click or just stop by. Granger for the
Oh, don't worry about it. Alright. I mean, I also just woke up too, so got a bit of crusties in the eye. Nefarious machinations. In the second dungeon, Black Gem Foundry, you and your party must venture into Cold Harbor Manufacturing. Okay. Shut down the ability to craft. So this is like, we're going back to Cold Harbor. This is pretty sweet. I do like Cold Harbor. I used to hang out there all the time. Both dungeons present new challenges for your allies to face along with gears to collect. In addition, new dungeons, the new event Battle of the Withering Wall will be available testing during the PTS period. So this right here, I had my assumptions that they were going to... this is how they would tie together crossplay. So, I mean, that is what I was hoping, but clearly that's not the case. Crossplay will come, but it's just not going to be for this. It's not going to be yet. Large effort, every action counts. 3 total phases. First 2 phases will be available for completion during the PTS cycle. There's several base game quality for features like Update 47 as well, including stackable survey reports, quest dialogue, replay, mount swimming. Okay. Mount swimming? What? Oh, what? Okay, Zos getting a little crazy here. All PCNA characters have been copied this week. Otherwise, there are 3 templates that you'd utilize. Additionally, all PTS accounts have access to Feast of the Shadows in features regardless of having purchased Content Pass. We look forward to reading through your feedback. New dungeon focuses updates approximately 3.5 gigabytes in size. Enjoy. Nice. Alright. Table of contents. Base game. Some quality of life. Dodge roll visualization update. Is this gonna count for werewolves? Because I don't know how many times I've tried to hit a werewolf and it just misses because I can't tell they're dodge rolling. Combat and gameplay. It's another thing too. I miss Elsewhere. I'm gonna go hang out in Elsewhere. Maybe kill some dragons. New features. 2 new dungeons. Unique skin. Mementos. Battle of the Wall. Yada yada yada. Big changes. Here we go. Base game. Unidentified survey reports are going to be stackable now. Infinite Archive. Vision reroll. You now have the opportunity to use Archival Fortunes to reroll your possible vision selections when presented. Oh, that's pretty cool. Nice. So say you're looking for like the Avatar vision, and you need one more. Can't hear you in Discord. Let's see. Maybe it's on my end. Check, check, check. Yeah, it is on my end. I also have the girls in the background, so if I have to bounce for whatever reason, that's why. Can you hear me now? What's up, babe? What? Oh my god. If she needs me, she'll come inside.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, what's up?
Just getting started into this. Right now we're going over base game stuff. Mount swimming. What do you think of mount swimming?
I don't know. I think it's like a minor improvement because now we just won't get off our mounts when we hit a puddle. We can just keep riding, I guess. I don't know. I was wondering how far out you could get in Cyrodiil now, though, with that. And, like, if you could get to anywhere else, maybe. Because they did say that you can explore more now in that, if you read it. So I don't know if they're acknowledging that there's some locations that we can now get to because of whatever. I don't know.
Mounts have been trained to learn how to navigate waters, allowing you to traverse Tamriel in new ways.
That's what I mean, in new ways. So they must think, oh, this is a new location now for these people. But that's me being optimistic, honestly.
Does this mean you're not going to get eaten by the fish now?
I don't know.
Your mount's just going to die. You can't use your mount for 5 minutes. That'd be kind of funny. Let's see. Vengeance testing round 3. Yes, this is exactly what I wanted. Various systems have been turned on for this. Contribute overall performance, sky shards, mount selection, collectibles. Wait, you couldn't use mounts in Vengeance? Hold on one second.
Some of them.
Hmm?
I'm setting some of them.
Well, Vengeance was a new campaign they added for Cyrodiil. They removed everything except the class skills, and that's it. There's no weapon skills, no racial passes. You couldn't use any armor or weapon. Everyone had a 50,000 health. Exact same stats. To try to like make Cyrodiil more playable by removing essentially everything.
Yeah, so no more ball groups. Alright. Yeah, so they added weapon skill lines to Vengeance Test 2, which was a nice quality of life improvement. It finally had a decent stun on Necro. Meat bag catapults are back. However, they no longer leave a ground lingering effect and only affect players on impact. Okay. Mages and Fighter Guild lines have been added. Alright, cool. So you can use Dawnbreaker and Shooting Star. New armor
Great.
skill line has been added, which will include all 3 active abilities for light, medium, and heavy armor. What?
Yeah, I would like to just read that. I think it's kind of silly because they're just obviously like amalgamating everything to make the server run better. But like okay,
Yeah, a new
I don't know.
armor skill line has been added, which includes all 3 active abilities. So you just equip
It's
this and you
probably the
automatically
same
carry all the
shit.
weights.
I think it's just all of the passives under one skill line.
Mm-hmm.
Like it'll tell you if you're wearing 5 of this, you'll get this, and it'll be minus this.
Yeah.
I think it'll be the same. They're just maybe condensed it to one thing, and all 3 skills are under one thing.
It's kind of embarrassing that we're 10 years later and this is what they're testing now.
Yep.
Okay. Housing, new furnishings. This I'll read in my own leisure time.
Yeah, I don't really care about. I don't think anyone cares about that. No, I'm wrong. That's the only cool thing, right? That's what anyone ever says.
What, housing?
Housing's endgame. Like, no, it's not, bro. It's,
Yeah,
It's
it's
not
a
endgame,
niche.
it's just-
Yeah.
you just suck at the real game. So you skipped his housing.
No, trust
You
me,
can't
Thorax.
fucking-
I totally agree with you.
Okay, I'm not doing that.
Come on, man. Come on.
No.
Alright, combat gameplay. Greetings! Officially, the entire update was subclassing in the wild. We've been closely monitoring all of the wacky antics unfold this week. This is another way of saying, yeah, we know we fucked up. Now we gotta peel back the power creep here a little bit.
Yeah, wacky is a technical term, I think.
We know that every class is utilizing the assassination skill line in Nightblade. This batch will relatively light with new balance adjustments on classes since we're still discussing a lot of potential ways to move forward with with waiting to see how behaviors, sentiment, and engagement change. Yeah, you're not going to have any change as long as one class skill line outperforms pretty much all of the other ones. Being light on class balance still means... I can't even get through the first sentence in the second paragraph, bro. Being light on class balance still means there is some...
What does that even mean? I'm actually kind of confused by that. I need to just reread it.
Being...
Wait, so does that mean that because they haven't touched any of the balancing, it means that they have some balancing to do? Is that what they're saying? Or are they saying because they haven't touched it, it means that there is different viable builds out there? What are they saying?
Yeah, it's such a vague sentence that it could honestly mean anything. Being light on class balance still means there is some. We still have a few adjustments.
I think that's implying that they have not touched on the balance that much, and there's more to touch on. I think that's
That'd be
because
a
they go
safe
on
way
to
to
say
go about
we
it.
still have adjustments to do. So I think that's kind of trailing on that statement of we got lots to do. So maybe that's what that means. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Largely aimed at correcting some of the less ideal behavior we're seeing with passive slot effects. Abilities like Grim Focus and Bound Armor that are often being used purely passively. I don't think Grim Focus is being purely used passively.
Well,
Just
it
saying.
is for PvE.
PvE? Oh,
So-
okay.
People are getting 175k plus, and it's because they're just doing the Arcanist beam, and when they have 5 stacks of the focus,
Yeah,
or
that's
10
right.
stack now, whatever,
Okay, honey.
they'll get the 400 weapon and spell damage,
I do forget.
which is
yeah.
huge. That's like an
PvE,
extra
that's a big
10%
deal.
damage.
And
Yeah,
that's just on a target dummy. That's not including buffs from other players too, right?
Yeah, like there's always more buffs in the trial, so it's making like I'm sure my prog team has completed their thing because the damage has gone up so much.
Yeah.
The skipping so many mechanics now.
Wait, here we go. So we're going to do some gentle reworking of what they grant in this update. Neither of these abilities nor their morphs will grant unique, unnamed effects for slotting. Instead, they'll be granting major or minor... Here we go with the major and minor system. Major and minor effects to ensure that they'll still be helpful, but not in the same way as before. Additionally, we're taking a stab at ultimate generation and how it can be converting many unique ultimate sources, such as major and minor system. Okay.
That is, we'll get to that more, but to me, that's
a
just
huge
gutting.
nerf.
It's gutting the opportunity to 1vx even harder, because I don't know if you remember at the very beginning they had like dynamic alt gen, where you would get more if you were by yourself essentially, because you needed more, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
Now it's even less ultimate, basically, like way less ultimate.
Does this affect like skills, like Necro?
So just keep reading, get to it, and then it'll show all of the different classes. It does every class, because every class has a unique ultimate generation system. Like Nightblade, you drink a potion, you get 20 or whatever. Necro, you consume a corpse, you get like 12 every 16 seconds.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, okay. So I was thinking of necrotic potency, where you got 6 per corpse.
No, they're not changing that. They're basically changing the unique way each class generates their ultimate, because each class is different. Like,
okay,
you got to use Dawn's Wrath on Templar. You got to use the DK1, Earth and Heart every 8 seconds.
Yeah. Okay. Minor and minor system. This will mainly express in the form of class passives like Mountain's Blessing, Savage Beast, where these passives will still grant some amount of ultimate as before, but over a duration and unable to stack with other sources of the effect. Okay. Yeah, so
I think
like
it's a big nerf to DK right there too, because they won't get that instant juice.
Oh, that's right.
Or never mind. I'm not sure. I'd have to. I think I'm thinking of something else.
I'm thinking of Nightblade. When you drink the potion and you get 30 ult.
It's 20, but yeah.
Oh, is it 20? I thought it was more. Outside of this, you can expect 2 main initiatives in this patch: regular bug fixing and balance pass on some. Yeah. Whatever. Outside of these initiatives will continue to lurk over the discussions and experience you get into while you formulate how to best deliver improving the gameplay experience Tamriel has to offer. 10 years later. Happy reading, safe travels, and we hope to see you soon.
The paragraph above is just talking about how it's changing how most of the trial sets are going to be changed.
Yeah.
To be a little easier to utilize. So that includes Reliquin, which is a big PvP dueling set.
Yeah, I've heard about this.
So it's getting a bit of a nerf that way as well.
Yeah.
Maybe a little buff, though, because it's easier, but I think overall I got a nerf. Another nerf.
Combat and abilities. Update the visual effects for dodge roll to better convey the ramping stamina cost and rolling multiple times in a quick succession. Is this also going to allow you to know when a werewolf is dodge rolling?
Well, a way a werewolf dodge rolls is they just strafe. They just move left or right. And like without moving their legs. It's just like a fucking shitty telegraph thing.
Yeah, it's pretty...
Yeah, I'm wondering how this dodge roll will work, but okay.
Yeah. Many fear sources have been updated to no longer place 2 effects on you while under the influence.
Damn.
Oh, is this talking about what's that pull set?
They're gonna get to that, but they did change that.
Oh, good.
I think basically instead of having 2 debuff squares on your body, you'll have 1 when you get feared.
Okay.
It's probably just for server latency, and that's it.
Okay. Fear will now handle both occurrences in one, resulting in the case where some interaction with passives and sets will change. Okay. Block no longer fails to required resource while actively bracing. Okay. Block no longer fails when using channel or cost time abilities while bar swapping. I didn't know you could block while using a channeled ability.
I think it's like if you were using a channel and then you bar swap and you're holding block as you bar swap.
Oh,
There's
okay.
probably some stupid tank interactions that they're trying to address here, like PvE shit.
Are they talking about like Templar Beam? Because I didn't even know you could do anything while you were channeling or...
I don't know what they're talking about, but I'm assuming what's happening is the tank and the content, you have to perma block for a lot of the content. So when they're swapping bars, sometimes they'll just get bodied and they're like, I'm holding block. And there's always been a weird thing when you bar swap and you're holding block. It'll like drop your block for a second sometimes and you'll get smashed. So.
Fix an issue where some abilities could set your health to full when activated in very specific and rare cases. Those who know.
Vampire Ultimate.
Oh, man. Fixing the issue where some
Anytime
transformation ultimates would surprise you to open completion, interrupting your abilities while causing them to go on cooldown. Okay. What were you saying, Thorax?
Just a lot of people in PvP will crutch on that ultimate because when you use it, you just go back to full health and you're a vampire lord and it's utter cheese.
Yeah. Nerf assassination skill line and deep fissure. 90% of players are using them. Nonsense. Yeah, Smog, I agree with you. We'll get to the abilities here. Not a lot of changes other than minor, well, major nerfs.
You'll get there. Just wait.
Yeah, this is what I want to read. Fix an issue where temporary summon abilities could cast and drain resources even when their summon would fail to spawn due to being at the pet limit. Oh! Is this Blighted Blast Bones? Sacrificial Bones and Morphs? Alright, okay, cool. Yeah, I was just experiencing this last night, so this actually makes me happy to read. So every time you would summon Blast Bones, say you were at the cap, it would still take away your stamina, however much it cost at the time, but you wouldn't get the summon and you would just waste it.
Damn.
Which, to me, I really feel like the corpse system, there is no reason why they implemented that. I really don't feel like that had enough server strain to even be talked about. Like, why don't we talk about the heal over times that are ticking on everybody times 10?
It's probably because it was a newer class and they didn't mesh well with the old system. And they're probably like, it'll be fine.
I thought they basically just copied and pasted Remembrance from Templar with the whole corpse generating system.
Yeah, that seems like it would be a starting point. I don't know.
Because that's what I use on one of my builds now. Instead of Dead and Pained, I use Remembrance with the Templar, and it still procs Corpse Burster. Which is pretty sweet.
Weird.
Okay, well, the following passes granting unique forms of ultimate when meeting their conditions have been converted to grant major and minor heroism to prevent them from stacking with one another. The total amount of ultimate granted will be identical, but will not stack with additional sources and will take more time to generate. So this is what Thorax was talking about, how it's basically a passive nerf to dynamic ult gen, so it's going to make it harder to 1vx, and you won't be able to generate as much ultimate by yourself as you used to, and overall across the board.
Yeah, just everyone in general is gaining. Because, like, let's say you are a Nightblade and you have a source of minor heroism, which is not unheard of now. Like, so when you drink your potion and you're getting minor heroism, you're getting two things of ultimate at the same time. Now when you drink your potion, you already have minor heroism. You can't gain minor heroism anymore. So you can't gain more ultimate because it doesn't stack. It doesn't add to the buff. And it probably won't override either. It'll just go into the buff and get eaten up. So, like, all of those instances where You get a little extra ultimate here, a little extra ultimate there. There's just no more. Everything is just once you have that buff going, you have to wait till it's over to get the buff again.
Yeah. And it seems to be with all of the main passives that gave you those buffs. So, like, Mountain's Blessing.
It's all 7 classes.
Yeah, Transfer, Catalyst, Prism, Savage Beast, Corpse Consumption. This is the one I wanted to... So now grants Minor Heroism, 7.5 to 15, with 16-second cooldown. 16-second cooldown? What was the cooldown before? Was it the same?
It was 16 seconds,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
It's all the same.
So
That's what I mean. You're getting the same, but now it's in a way of a buff rather than a unique, like, different thing that no one other class has. So basically, if you had Minor Heroism in your build before, now it's useless. You just got nerfed. I think it also essentially takes away heroism pots. Because that's what a lot of people would do in PvE when they parse or even in content. And now we all have Minor Heroism, so it's just like, I feel like that's going to go down.
So essentially, in subclassing, if you happen to have 2, we'll just say even 3 skill lines that have these alt generating passives, now the other 2 are basically useless because you're already getting Minor Heroism from your class.
Yeah, that's probably what was happening too with subclassing. It was just crazy alt gen.
That makes a lot
3
of
different
sense.
ones. So now it's like just once you have the buff going, the other one is not gonna go in probably, and
that makes a
you're
lot
just
of
gonna
sense.
have to.
Because dude, I was getting crescent sweeped like a spammable last night. I was like, this motherfucker just crescent sweeped me, and he's already doing it again.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Hence why I'm fucking,
Thorax is taking a break. 2026 return. Alright. Abilities, Alliance War, Barrier, Replenishing Barrier. This morph no longer grants 1 to 4 ultimate when the shield ends. Increase the magic restored when the shield ends, 1200 to 1500, up from 700. Okay. So a nerf to Barrier.
That's just a huge nerf to PvE too, because like every healer usually runs that shit, and now there's just no more alt from that.
Rotating
Another,
barriers.
just less alt across the board, and that. Yep.
Evil Hunter, the damage bonus granted from this morph now applies the damaging effects of Torchbearer?
It increased Fighters Guild abilities by like 20% or something.
Okay.
After using it for like 5 seconds or something like that.
Shooting Star, this morph now ranks down to a cost of 185. The ultimate generation now grants 10 ultimate per enemy hit, up to a maximum of 6 times rather than 9 to 12 based on rank with no limit. Oh, okay. That's kind of a
Big
buff,
nerf.
right? Wait, that's a nerf?
Yeah, because you could shoot a meteor down, and if you had a big stack of people, you would get your meteor back. Now it's gonna cap at 6. You're only gonna get 60.
Gotcha.
Like on my Nightblade, I'd backbar Meteor, I'd have Soul Harvest, which I get ultimate on a kill, throw my Meteor down, have my Meteor back in like 2 seconds, and just in the right situation. Like when there's a big, like incentivize you to save your shit for the right moment. But no, it's just like, just a regular alt now.
Yeah.
It's still good damage though, and for PvP, and the less cost is nice.
Yeah.
Definitely real nice on a torque now. So
All
there
right,
you go.
class abilities. Here we go. Necromancer, Gravelord, Flame Skull. Resolve the issue where the corpse generated from this ability and its morphs could not be replaced, causing you to quickly reach the summon limit and be unable to activate other summon abilities. That's it? That's all Necro got? Was a bug fix?
That's all that you need, apparently.
Oh my god. Okay. Nightblade, Assassination, Grim Focus. This ability and its morphs now grant Major Prophecy and Savage...
They already had that, so it's useless.
It's not why I'm shaking my head. That right there just basically ruins one of my current fucking builds, dude. I hate this. So they switched. They switched Major Prophecy and Savagery from a completely different skill line to Grim Focus now.
Yeah, I was on the cloak before.
Yeah.
You get back bar it.
Yeah.
You still get it.
That's
bar
what
slot.
I'm doing right now. And now they fucking do this shit.
That's what everyone's doing, man. On every single Nightblade. They know what they're doing.
These abilities no longer grant increasing weapon and spell damage per stack. We talked about this because of the beamers and
That's
PvE.
huge. That's essentially like taking away your Dark Elf racial passive.
Mm-hmm.
That's like every Nightblade now is about minus 8 or 9% damage on their ultimate, on their abilities, on their bow.
Oh, good. Fuck them.
Relentless. Yeah, maybe, I don't know.
Relentless Focus. This morph now ranks up in cost. Yes, keep going. Ranks up in cost reduction. Sorry. Since there is no weapon and spell damage granted per stack, and no longer instead, this morph reduces the number of stacks needed to activate the ability to 4 down from 5. Okay. Shadow Cloak. This ability in Shadow Disguise morph now grants minor protection. Blah blah blah. Okay, so it's just replacing Prophecy and Savagery for minor protection. Dark Cloak, this bonus healing condition and its morph now requires you to actively... Oh, you have to block now to get the heal?
Huge nerf.
Holy shit!
Huge nerf.
The healing duration of this ability is no longer influenced by the Dark Veil passive either? Wow.
Yeah, big nerf. You can't just... Because Nightblades were sitting in their Templar heal rune too, right? So
Yeah.
it's just like God mode. 3 heals.
Wow.
It's kind of a nerf for tank and PvE too if you play a Nightblade tank.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a big nerf.
Not bad. Sorcerer, Daedric Summoning, Bound Armor. This ability and its Bound Aegis morph now passively grant Major Resolve? For slotting on either bar? And increasing your max magic by 5 to 8% still?
No, it's and rather than. So
Okay. Major Resolve rather than granting minor protection. Okay. Interesting. So what about Lightning Form's ability and morphs no longer now grants minor force rather than major resolve? You gotta be fucking kidding me, dude. Come on. What are they doing? I mean, clearly this all has to do with subclassing, right? So people were... This ruins a lot of current builds that I have, though. Alright, let's just go through it. Let's read through it, and then we'll talk about it. Alright, so...
Imagine my 29 builds and saying that to me.
Yeah.
Keep going, though.
So, Major Resolve for slotting on either bar. So that's actually, pretty nice. Instead of granting minor protection and increasing your max magic. So they're really going against these max magic builds still. Bound Ailments. This morphin now grants major sorcery and prophecy. So Sorks finally have major sorcery and prophecy now in their toolkit.
No, they've always had major sorcery. They have critical surge, my dude. Every sword pretty much runs crit surge, so it's not like they didn't have this before.
No.
It's useless.
The prophecy, the crit chance. It says major sorcery and prophecy. They've never had access to prophecy.
Yeah, okay. That's not really a huge... You just put on Inner Light, because most Sorks run Inner Light for the max magic anyways, because you build into... So, and on PvE, I just use a potion. Everyone does.
This is a unique buff, though. So, Bound Ailments grants major sorcery and prophecy. Usually it's sorcery and brutality or prophecy and savagery. But this is giving you sorcery and prophecy.
Well, they both are hybridized anyways. I don't think it's going to be... They probably just didn't write the both things. Because normally, every time you buff one nowadays, you buff both. I don't know. I don't think it really matters, though.
This is interesting. Barbecue says it needed a nerf. Giving it prophecy and savagery just frees up a skill spot for me. Yeah. Crit surge gives brutality and sorcery. Yeah. Oh my.
Well, it doesn't really free up a slot because no one ran bound armor on their front bar. Because it doesn't say it's front and back for bound armaments or whatever. It just says for slotting. Normally when they'll say for slotting on either bar. So if you have to remove inner light for bound armaments, that's a nerf. Because you're losing the 7% max magicka. It's not a buff, it's a nerf.
Okay. Sorry about that. Dark Magic, Dark Exchange, Dark Deal. This morph no longer grants minor force. This morph's minor berserk is no longer half as long as the base ability. Okay. And then Storm Calling, Lightning Form, minor force rather than major resolve. Okay, so they swapped around a couple of the major and minor buffs, giving this orc some different utilization for subclassing. Talking about Merciless Resolve, bro. Yeah. Oh, he's telling you he was talking about Merciless Resolve.
Oh, I don't fucking know what he's talking about.
It needed he's talking about Merciless Resolve needed a nerf.
Oh.
Giving it prophecy and savagery just frees up a skill spot for me. I like it. Gotcha. Alright, so that's it for the classes, though. Moving on to weapon abilities. Restoration Staff, Blast Protection, Fix an Issue. It's more ceiling buff. Okay, so it's just bug fixes. Two-handed, Berserker Strike. It's morphs crowd control immunity. Now work as intended. Okay.
Only took 8 years or whatever.
Yeah.
Introduced it.
Major heroism reduced the intensity and volume of sound effects from this effect. I never noticed in the first place. And then in Grimoires, Banner Bearer adjusted the combination effect of class mastery script as an Arcanist with this Grimoire. This effect now only generates Crux if you have no Crux active. Okay, so a nerfed Arcanist.
Huge nerf.
That is a big
Mainly
nerf.
for PvE, but
We're toning down.
Yeah.
We're toning down this passive Crux generation has become since this combination was introduced. Crux was designed to play a central role in the Arcanist rotation, and most of its sources are built on taking actions with an active cost of reaching to events outside of one's control. Passive forms of the Crux tend to have a limitation of their activation. Crux Weavers requires taking damage with a mild cooldown. Tome Bearer's Inspiration requires you to have no Crux active. Both limitations are done to ensure that you cannot purely passively generate Crux. Yeah, that is a huge nerf.
Yeah,
Holy
because literally you would just need to flail once and you'd be full. Now you have to flail twice again.
Balorg, this
like
set now requires you to be in combat.
Yeah, so that's a big nerf to gank blades because you're not in combat until you start the gank. So when you use your ultimate, it's never going to be buffed anymore.
Yeah, so you have to light attack now in order to get it.
Do something. Hit them with an AoE, whatever. So, big nerf for Nightblades there, I think. Just relying on Balorg, I don't know.
Well, that's it for class sets, or class changes. I wish they would have introduced some more, like the third line of class sets for Infinite Archive, because that's kind of what I was looking for. Oh, we didn't go to Rush of Agony. I just saw it. Where'd it go? Rush of Agony. This set no longer pulls enemies to the caster after its delay, but instead creates an area of effect at the initial location, pulling enemies to it. The warning visual effects of this set actively have been greatly increased in order to help improve counterplay.
I wonder if like a little audio plays and it's like, "Look out, scrub!" And then you're like, "Oh, it's coming."
And then if you get hit by it, it goes toasty.
That would be funny. You should be able to edit the sound with the add-ons. Put some toasty in there.
Yeah, that'd be funny. We're making this change to this set to correct some exploit. Oh, so they admit it was exploitative. Wow. In high load situations or when paired with specific abilities that allowed the caster to move quickly from place to place.
We had, like, the community had to suffer through that for 2 years.
Unreal.
And they're just like, oh, by the way, here's a piece of toilet paper with some wiping on it. I want you to eat it. And the community's like, oh. That's crazy that they admitted it was an exploit after all this time of people saying it is broken.
Fuck yeah, dude.
You can be pulled through walls. You can be pulled through the different state. You can be pulled through, like, anywhere. So.
Dude, I was getting pulled through the, the one BG match. Hey, selfie. Relax. The one BG's match where, like, there's the upper level and lower level, where, like, the water was down below.
Yeah.
I would get pulled through the ceiling up to the upper level with Rush of Agony.
I believe it. It's probably because there's, like, those grates in the ground or whatever. But yeah,
true.
like, it shouldn't ever have worked like that. But they don't test their PvP, man. They just don't eat. How do you get resources back? I forget.
Yes. You'll find out in the new patcher. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to end it here. I went through the changes. Some significant nerfs.
Is that all of it?
That was, for class balancing and combat and abilities.
There's a little more, some juice you can go through. I don't know.
Where?
Like through the whole notes.
Oh, I'm not going to. We'll be on here for over 2 hours.
It's not that big.
You want to know monsters and NPCs? I know that you want to go to the quest zones.
No,
And
I
UI.
just. I guess they didn't really do too much with the sets.
Yeah, no, they added. Oh wait, Alliance War of Vengeance Test 3. Yeah, here we go. Oh, we talked about this. Mages and Fighter Guild, new armor skill line, meatbag catapults. Customized action, the Lunar Aura Gathering customized action was now player.
Oh, read the Caltrops one. That's the one I knew you'd like and you'd want to roleplay with.
Caltrops?
Yeah, they added like a skill style for that one.
Oh, unique skill style fragments, Caltrop Bone? That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, like just throw a layer of bones down, right?
That's badass. I might use that over Graveyard.
Yeah, I mean, it gives the same thing, and it's bones. And people might be able to see it, actually.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you can't see the tombstones. It's really sad.
3+2 is a nerf to Merciless Resolve. Mount swimming. Your trusty steed shall... What, honey? 2+2? We'll find out in the new patcher.
I don't get it.
You don't get it?
The nerf. Nerf Nightblade, I don't know.
Alright, Thorax. Well, thanks for hanging out, man. I appreciate you. Thanks for explaining a lot of things that obviously I can't explain, so...
Let me know when you want to play that Dark and Dark thing. You want to try it whenever you got time.
Probably tonight, because these kiddos are driving me nuts, so I'm going to get them outside.
Yeah, for sure.
Alright, so you heard it from himself, the man, the myth, the legend. He's a Zos dev, Thorax the Dark. But thanks again for hanging out tonight. No, I'm just kidding. Alright, guys, those are the patch notes. I'll be on later tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace out. Stay frosty. See you in the graveyard.